Hello everyone, I am Anil Bharate, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, BLDS CET, Vijaypur. In this video, I am going to explain experiment number 11 for C Programming Lab prescribed in V2 syllabus for second semester students. Now, 11th experiment is C program to sort the given n numbers using bubble sort. So basically in this program, set of numbers will be given and those numbers should be sorted. Sorted here means arranging them either in ascending or in descending order. Now in this example or in this program we are considering or we are sorting in ascending order. So before we understand the program, let us understand few concepts that I am going to use in this program. First one is array, specifically one dimensional array. Now if I write int a, here capital A is a variable. Now I can store only one value at a time in this variable, say 10. I can store 10 or 20 or 30, but only one value at a time. But if I want to store set of elements, say to sort the numbers, I will be given with, say for example 5, 10 or 15 or 30 numbers. So to store those many numbers, I need some storage. I cannot do it with the help of variable. So I go for array. Array is a collection of elements with similar data type. That is, all the elements in an array should be same data type. Say for example, here I have considered example. If I say int and array, here all the numbers must be integer numbers. Say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. They are all integer numbers. So array is a collection of elements with similar data types. Now how to differentiate between variable and array? If you simply write variable name without any square bracket, it is a variable. If you write some identifier with square bracket, like here I have written, it is an array. So here important thing to remember once again is, here we can store elements like, say if I say int a of 5, I can store maximum of 5 elements, and usually first element will be indicated by a of 0. That is, first number will be a of 0. Here a, because here this should have been capital A, sorry for this, it should be capital A everywhere because array name is A, capital A. Now if I write a of 1, it means that it is second element, that is 20. If I write a of 2, it is third element, 30. If I write a of 3, it will be 40. A of 4 means fifth number, that is 50. So likewise we store elements in an array. So now let us try to understand one more loop called as for loop. Here syntax for loop will be, there are three expressions or three elements in for loop, say first, second and third. Usually this first one will be initialization. We initialize value to some variable. Then second one, it will be usually a condition. And then third one, it will be updation, that is either increment or decrement. Now let us see how this for loop works in this example. Now first I is equal to 0, that is value of I is 0. Then control will go to, wait for a while, first this statement is executed, that is I is equal to 0. Then control will go to check the condition. Now if this condition is true, then control will enter into body of loop. This is body of loop. Body of loop is nothing but the statements that are enclosed within these flower brackets. Now body of the loop is executed when this condition is true. After executing this body of the loop, control will go back to this increment operator, increment expression. Now value of I will be incremented. Earlier it was 0, now it will be 1. Now again after incrementing, again it will check the condition. Now 1 is less than 5, it is true. So control will again enter into the loop and it will print hello. And this process is repeated until this condition becomes false. Once that condition becomes false, control will come out of the loop and next statements will be executed. So what should be the output of this program? I have already written it on right side. See, I is equal to 0, 0 is less than 5, so one time hello will be printed. Then next value of I will be 1, 1 is less than 5, next time hello printed. Then 2 is less than 5, 3 is less than 5, 4 is less than 5, then next time 5 is less than 5, that is false condition. Therefore hello will not be printed for sixth time, it will be printed only for 5 times. This is how for loop works. Now let us try to understand the logic of bubble sort. Say we are given 4 elements, these are the 4 numbers, say 4, 1, 3, 2, these are our numbers, and you observe that they are not in ascending order or not in descending order, they are not sorted in general. Now we want to sort them or we want to arrange them in ascending order. So the basically bubble sort works like it will compare two consecutive numbers. Like in this example, listen, this 4 is compared with 1, and before this one more thing, say 4, 1, 3, 2, we can assume these 4 elements as elements of array. So 4 is nothing but a of 0, then next 1 is nothing but a of 1, and so on. Now if in general, if I assume indicate this 4 by a of j, then what will be next element? It will be a of j plus 1. So remember that first element, if I assume it as a of j, then next element will be a of j plus 1. Now the condition that we are supposed to check is if a of j is greater than a of j plus 1. That is, if first number is greater than second number, then those two numbers should be swapped. If this condition is false, then nothing to do. Simply we should write those elements as it is. Now let us see one by one. First we will compare 4 with 1. Whether 4 is greater than 1, yes, that is a of j is greater than a of j plus 1. So swap. So whenever a of j is greater than a of j plus 1, we should swap. 4 is greater than 1, so swap. That is why 1 has been written at this position and 4 has been written at. So we have swapped them. 3 and 2 should be written as it is. So this is first iteration, first comparison. So in the next iteration we will compare next two consecutive numbers, that is 4 will be compared with 3. Now whether 4 is greater than 3, yes, if yes, then swap. That is why 4 and 3 have been swapped in the next step. See, 4 has come to this position and 3 to this position. 1, 3, 4, and this 2 should be written as it is. Next time we will compare this 4 with 2. Whether 4 is greater than 2, yes, if yes, then swap them. So 2 will come at this position and 4 will come to the last position. Now if you observe, I have marked that 4 with red color here because we have completed one pass. Now this is called as pass 1, first pass I can say, or first iteration. In the first iteration, the largest value is sorted, it has come to the end, or it has come to the last position of that list. So that is why I have made it as red color. So in the next step, again in this from the starting, it will be comparing. That is, 1 will be compared with 3. Whether 1 is greater than 3, no. If no, then write them as it is. See, I have written as it is 1, 3, 2, 4. Why? Because 1 is not greater than 3. So moving to the next there will be comparison between 3 and 2. Now whether 3 is greater than 2, yes, if greater than 2, then swap them. So that is why 2 has come to this position and 3 went to next position. Now there should not be comparison between 3 and 4 because already in the previous step this 4 has been sorted. So there is no need of comparison. And observe one more thing. In the first iteration we had 3 comparisons. That is, first time 4 is compared with 1, then 4 is compared with 3, then 4 is compared with 2. So there were 3 comparisons. Now in the second pass, this is pass 2 or iteration 2. In the second pass we had only 2 comparisons. That is, 1 is compared with 3 first time, then 3 is compared with 2. That is all. That's all. Now observe, in the second iteration I have marked 3 and 4 as red color because those two numbers are sorted. According to the logic, they are sorted now. So let us go to the next. In the next step, 1 is compared with 2. Whether 1 is greater than 2? No. If no, then you should write as it is. But there will be only one comparison this time because this 3 and 4 have been already sorted. So no need to compare 2 and 3 once again. So there is only one comparison. So I have written 3 elements 2, 3, 4 in red color. Now finally there will be fourth pass which will give you the complete sorted list, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, now there are few things to remember about this logic here. Is first, if there are 4 elements, then how many passes we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there will be 4 passes. Now in each pass, if you observe, if there are 4 elements, how many comparisons will be there in the first iteration? There will be 3 comparisons. See, if 4 elements are there, then it starts with 3 comparisons and it will go on reducing 3, then 2, 1 and so on, if there are 4 elements. So in general, if there are n elements, so if there are n elements, then there will be n passes and there will be n minus I minus 1 number of comparisons in pass I. It depends on value of which pass we are working on. So let us go to the program now. Okay, here it is. Now here we have taken one temporary variable and array. Why array is required? Because to store set of elements we have declared n, I, j. Let us see how they are useful for us. So first statement will be enter value of n. Then how to enter? Using scanf we will enter that, and %d ampersand n. You know already this. Now next statement will be enter %d numbers. Now when I enter value of n as say 4, as we have seen, then I should enter 4 numbers now. So to enter 4 numbers I am using this for loop. If I simply write scanf, it will be able to read only one number, but I need n numbers. That is why I make use of this for loop. So I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So here %d ampersand n. So you may guess now how many numbers can be read from keyboard, or how many numbers can be entered. That is n numbers. Here it starts from 0 and it ends at n. That is it will read 5 elements. Well, now let us go to the next part of this code here. Now there are 2 for loops we are using. This for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. This will indicate pass number. So first time pass, if I is equal to 0, it means it is in first pass and so on. So again, in every pass, say for example in first pass, there will be number of comparisons. This for loop is used to indicate number of comparisons. See, j is equal to 0, j less than n. In the previous example, if you consider, n was 4 minus I. Value of I here, it is still 0 minus 1. So 4 minus 0 minus 1, it is 3. So if you remember, in the first pass we had 3 comparisons. So this for loop will be working properly. Well, now if you are working like, wait for a while, I'll take pencil. See, if this is true, if this condition is also true, then we check for one more condition. In every comparison we will be checking like whether a of j is greater than a of j plus 1, that we have seen. If yes, then we should swap. To swap, these 3 statements are used. Say we are using some temporary variable, then we will put value of a of j in temp, then a of j value will be a of j plus 1, and in a of j plus 1 we take temp value and we will put it in a of j plus 1, so that they will be swapped. Now immediately after swapping, the control will go to this inner for loop first. then value of j will be incremented. So j will be now 1. Now whether 1 is less than this, yes, and it is repeated. So it will be repeated for 3 times because there will be 3 comparisons. If I take n value as 4, so this loop will be repeated for 3 times. After completing all the comparisons, control, let's wait, control will go back to this outer for loop and it will increment value of I. Now I will be 1. It means that we are working in second pass. Earlier it was first pass, now second pass. Again in second pass there will be number of comparisons, and that will be taken care by this for loop, and this process is repeated until all the elements are sorted. See here, once elements are sorted, we will display those. After sorting, then we will make use of for loop again, and we will write, or we will display those elements which will be sorted. Now let us see output of this program. See, enter value of n, we have entered it as 5, and let us assume that we have entered 5 4 3 2 1, or even you can enter them randomly, but output will be 1 2 3 4 5. Thank you.